Are you still, sorry, all up in your space. Are you still dealing with things that you were dealing with a long time ago? Are you still going through the same situations or dealing with the same types of people over and over? Are you still saying things that you used to say when you were 16? Are you still getting into the same arguments and having the same types of arguments? Are you still defending yourself in the same way you defended yourself before? Are you having situations, scenarios that are going differently in your mind than they are going with the person that you're actually having that scenario with? Say you're 50 and you're dealing with somebody who's 50 also, and you two have an argument, a spat. You leave upset, they leave fine. Why? They leave fine and you leave upset. Why? You know, when we're first leaving our parents' house, at what point do you think you're supposed to stop using your parents as an excuse for your behavior? At what point do you think it is now your responsibility to add your own information, to learn your own lessons? Now your responsibility. At what point does your actions, does your demeanor, at what point do your actions start being your responsibility and not the responsibility of those who programmed you? So say you're 30 and you're going through a shitty situation and you're abusing someone in your household and you say, oh, I wasn't taught any different. Really? You weren't smart enough to look at what you were going through and think, I don't like that, or it hurt, or I don't want to do that also, and then continue doing the thing that you were taught? That's crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy to me. To think that an adult could abuse someone and then, in order to excuse their abusing someone else, they will point at their abuse they received as a child. Huh. That's interesting. So that begs the question, at what point does your behavior become your responsibility? I say the second you move out, the second you become able to think about how much you don't like what your parents are doing, that is the moment that you become responsible for your own actions. It can be very difficult, of course, when you're a child and you're living with your parents and you want to live one way, but they keep pulling you back into living their way. That's fine. They can be very domineering. It is what it is. But after you move out of that place, after you get, after you start to reach for the ability to move out, the only way you're going to start to reach for living your own life the way you want it and not your own life the way they wanted it or they thought it should be is if you stop first seeking approval from them. Because if they're broken and they see you getting fixed and you're taking advice from the broken people, you're going to keep getting cracked. It's going to take you way longer to heal if you're still seeking approval from those people who broke you. Also, you have to be able to think for yourself and recognize what it is that your parents were doing that you don't like, that you didn't like when they did it to you. The things that you can't see yourself doing just because they did it. There are plenty of those things, and this starts when we're like 5. The reason we go through the terrible twos is because that's when we start to realize that we, are a separate person from our parents, our mother. We start to realize that we are our own person and we think things that are separate from the mother. At 2 years old, we start to realize that we have our own thought processes. And sometimes we don't agree with our mothers. That's when the terrible twos start. That's when you're starting to become your own person. The more you receive squashing behavior at that age, the more you will shapeshift into who your parents wish you to be or who your caregivers are programming you to be. The more you receive that squashing behavior, the less in touch with your own self you become. So this is why it's so difficult when you do move out of your parents' house to just stop living on autopilot. You'll do things and be like, oh my God, that was such a my mom thing to do, or that was such a my dad thing to do. I don't ever want to do that again. That is your opportunity to start being a big boy or start being a big girl. For you to notice that, you need to recognize it, look at it for what it is. I am not a shitty person for doing that. I was taught that. I'm going to now teach myself something different. And this is your choice. It's your choice. You choose it at any age that you want. Some people choose at 50 because they take that long to figure it out. Some people choose at 20 because they take that long to figure it out. Some people die doing the same hurtful things until their last day. Some of them realize on their last few days and they start praying a whole lot and they start trying to reach out to the people who they hurt and start trying to act like a big person, or sometimes even they'll just completely avoid the people that they hurt and try to pretend like they've changed into a completely different person. Death and the fear of death makes people so weird. So if you are going through your life doing things that you were taught to do, and you're complaining and whining about the scenarios, situations, relationships, things that you're in now, after you are like, I don't think there's a set age for anyone. There is no proper age, but like I said, at what point do your responsibility, what point do your actions become your responsibility? If you never take responsibility for your own actions, then you will die without having ever done that, without having ever accomplished anything, without having ever changed anything, without having ever been your own person, without having ever touched the hearts of the people you were supposed to touch the hearts of. It's just an ugly situation. You don't want to be old and on your deathbed complaining about things, having never realized while you were alive that you had the power to change those things the entire time. All it takes is a little bit of willpower. If you want to do better than your parents did, then you will do whatever you can. If you are constantly struggling in certain ways and you cannot even think about changing those things, then you will think about the things you can change. But if you don't actually have the willpower and you don't actually want to heal and you don't actually want to be a better parent than your parents were, then you won't. You'll do the same thing. You'll compile more and more of your own shit on top of it, only you won't notice because you're still on autopilot. You take control of your life and your actions and your thoughts at any point. At any point. You can go through, this is why some people can go through horrible things and then turn out fine. And some people can go through a little bit of a mess and fucking just until they're dead. That's the difference between this person and this person. This person can go through a fucking war and be fine. This person could get yelled at a little too much when they're a kid and just can't handle that shit, and then they fall later on because they don't ever come into their own power. The only difference is having come into your own power. This is why some people can go through horrible things and be fine, and other people can go through half as much and fucking crumble, because it takes you coming into your own power. It takes you making the decision to actually drive, to make decisions based on sound thought, to make decisions based on what it is you're actually trying to achieve in life. If you're trying to achieve something in your life and you make small decisions every single day that will get you a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer, you will make it there. There is no other option. You will make it there. If you put effort and energy every single day towards something, you will definitely get there. This is also a bad thing. If you put energy and effort towards acting on your emotions and just basically doing your best and struggling all the time, then you're going to make it to places that give you more struggle. If you are going to act on your anger, get angry about dumb things every day, if you're going to get angry about something and act on that anger, then you're going to attract more anger into your life. The next time something makes you angry, it will be even smaller than the first thing. The next time, it will be even smaller than the next thing. The next thing you know, you're getting pissed off about things you literally do not have to get pissed off about. Other people are experiencing the same thing and they're perfectly fine, and you're not okay. That's your choice. You don't choose to be not okay and everybody else to be okay, but you are choosing your actions every single day that have led you up to where you are today. Whatever you chose to do yesterday is what got you here today. Whatever you chose to do 10 years ago set you up to be here today. When you realize that, you are free. When you realize the things that make you angry, you are free. Because if you realize this makes me angry, why does this make me angry? If you get curious about it and you understand it, then the next time something happens, you realize how little it is, really. Somebody else can do that to you 10 times and you'd be like, it doesn't bother me anymore. It just doesn't. And then you get to make different decisions, different actions lead to different scenarios, lead to different places, lead to different people, lead to different places and things. You get the idea. So put your hands on the driving wheel, on the steering wheel. Put your hands on the steering wheel and actually drive. Look at the consequences of your actions before you take them. If I react out of anger right now, what is going to happen? Play it out in your head. If I get angry, I yell and scream and holler like I want to do right now. Look at the consequences of the people that you're putting that on. Look and notice the effect that it does have when you have already made that decision. You already know what it's going to do. So if you want this all again, then go ahead and respond the way you responded the first time. But if you are wanting something different, you must act different than you've already acted before. It seems so simple, but once you untie it, once you untangle it, and once you see all of the little intricacies of it, you can start to be more free. I think that's all I have to say today. I really hope that that helps, because we can't be around people who are staying the same as they stayed 10 years ago, 5 years ago. If I knew you 10 years ago, you don't know me at all. If I haven't seen you or talked to you or updated your information, your view of me in the last 10 years, you're gonna be fucking shocked, because I'm completely different. And the goal is to, in 10 years, be completely different again. I want to be bigger, better, stronger, and better set up in 10 years, in 5 years, in 2 years, this year. I want to be bigger, better, stronger, smarter. And if I'm not, then I failed. Right? Okay. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I love y'all so much. I hope that that helps. And bye.